to Fourth World Quick Takes. I'm here with my co-host Nicholas Todd Aberly, and our fellow guest Baby Yoda. He's here on the podcast couch where we usually record our podcast. And so today's question is: so CNN had a graphic during the elections that had that was listing out ethnicities for which who voted for what percentage voted for the president, and there was white, Latino, black, Asian, and something else. What's your thoughts on that, Nick?
Oh my god, dude! I don't know, like if they were worried about like the technical term what to call Native Americans.
Yeah,
but like there's got to be something better than something else, you know. What about you? What do you think about
yeah,
it?
they could use American Indian or Native American. Either one's fine. I know, like a lot. It's kind of either way. Like for tribes, like I think some tribes like to be called American Indian. Some tribes like to be called Native American.
Yeah.
It's a little confusing because they don't really have an exact name for us.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy, but something else like they could have put like American Indian / Native American, or it could have been something better than something else because. Like, I'm pretty sure all the races are there, like white, Latino, black, Asian, and something else. Like, it's obvious that it's Native American.
Yeah.
And we're at 6%, while the Asian is at 3%.
So at least like we had a higher percentage.
Highest percentage than the Asians.
Oh, we're not last. It's funny because like, you know, just the Native community, how they reacted to all this. So many great memes, man. Just they made something like funny, you know, they laughed about it, and I was laughing the past couple days.
So in the Declaration of Independence, they called us merciless Indian savages, and now like on CNN, it's just something else.
This is something else.
And then like there's also coincides with something that like the Redskins just changed their name this year to, I think it's like Washington Football Team. What's your thoughts about that? Just give us your quick thoughts about that name change.
I'm really glad they did it, just because like it is, in my opinion, a racist term. You know, redskin is just like a color of our skin. And it's not even true unless you live in Phoenix and you get sunburnt a lot. But but yeah, I'm really glad that they changed it, and that's a really great thing. What's your thoughts?
I feel like it was racist. Like if you just look at the history of the term Redskins, and it points back to like being a derogatory term for us, and then that goes a long way. Like, you know, Asians went through it, African Americans went through it, and it's just crazy that it's on a pro team that's like marketing Redskins and
merch and all that stuff that's like goes worldwide and everything.
it's a big company, and it's like they're still treating us this way, and I feel like we need to voice our opinions that it's wrong and it should be changed. But how do you feel like other teams? So like there's the Blackhawks, there's the Cleveland Indians, there's the Kansas City Chiefs. How do you feel about those?
So okay, the Indians, I think that needs to be changed too, because like it's, you know, the character is a redskin Indian. You know, it's a stereotypical portrayal of Native Americans, and I just don't think that's needed. You know, it's like, in my opinion, just keep us out of it. You know, you know, like I know natives are strong and all that stuff, but you always see like that native with like a war bonnet on and something like that. It's just like, you know, those stuff were like used in ceremonial stuff, and that just gives people they think it's a go ahead. Like you see like pictures of like, you know, non-indigenous people wearing headdresses, drinking and acting like fools during football games. It's like, no, like if you want to wear a war bonnet, you got to earn that.
Yeah. I feel like we shouldn't be mascots. Like we were people. Like our culture is here. Like what if they had like a logo of an Asian guy or a white guy and just Caucasians, or like African American? That would not be okay in 2020, and it's okay for us to be that. And I feel like it's the same thing with the Halloween. Like they see the Redskins, they see the Cleveland Indians, they see the Chicago Blackhawks, and it's like it's okay to dress up as Native Americans and wear our regular area, and it's not okay. Like all that sacred stuff, it's something that's in our traditions embedded, like before you guys even came here, and you're just wearing it as a mascot and like almost mocking us in a
Yeah.
sense.
And it puts us into the conversation of like a situation where somebody can talk shit.
Yeah.
Like, oh, fuck the Redskins, fuck that team, fuck those guys. It's like, you're representing us. Don't act a fool. Don't, like, even put us in the position of it getting shit talk.
Yeah, yeah.
You should be called the Washington something else's.
There's endless possibilities to names. You don't have to use us, and there's so many teams
Yeah.
that do. Like, there's birds, there's
Like, other.
whales. I don't know.
The Washington Beavers.
Yeah, there's a lot of choices. We're not an animal. Like, we're humans, and like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just.
It's super frustrating.
Yeah.
But okay, our second question: How would you fix the Navajo Nation and like all of our problems? Because in our last episode, we talked about the running water and electricity.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how would you go about fixing that?
Cell phone service, Wi-Fi,
Yeah.
communication, fix the roads.
Yeah.
If you can fix means of communication between our chapter houses and our government officials to where, you can go places that you need to go, and as well as, because one thing I know is like if you want to get certain chapter houses, you have to go through like dirt roads, and all that stuff. And if it rains, you can't go nowhere. You're stuck there for a while. So I would say, communication and transportation is definitely a big thing, because if you have good roads, you can get the materials you need to build better facilities, better places for the Navajo Nation. So.
Yeah. I feel like as a tribe, we have a hard time investing in ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like we invest in things that aren't beneficial in the long run. Like, our casinos are great, but how many roads could we have to fix, or how many houses we could have built instead?
Yeah.
And it's like, when we do get the money, there is a lot of like stealing and like being selfish. Yeah, embezzlement. Like, there's a lot of presidents that did steal money and they didn't get reelected next year. And it's like, there's no problems. They didn't go to jail. Like, they just stole the money and dipped.
Yeah.
Like anybody would do that.
Yeah, and it's just like, in my mind, you got to have better infrastructure and what you need to build a better future. And that's just like, I would say, invest more in local business instead of outside sources.
Yeah. Like, all of our, like, we know, like, border towns like Gallup, Flagstaff, we all go off to Navajo Nation and bring that money there, and then we leave, and none of that's being funneled back into us when we should be going to our local grocery stores, which is great that, like, in the past few years, like, Ganado got a bashes, it's a shopping safe.
Yeah.
Shopping safe. So, like, we have our own means of, like, meeting and creating jobs for our people.
And one thing I think is really good that the Navajo Nation does really good at is flea markets.
Yeah.
Flea markets is direct income to the local people that need it. What's one of your favorite things that you find at like a flea market that you always
the food. I always go there for the food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one thing I love too, is always the food, and then like just local knickknacks. I've recently seen like over in like Gallup flea market, there's some people like selling vegetables, corn, and all that stuff, as well as blankets, crafts, and everything, because our people are really good jewelry makers.
Yeah, we're like, as a nation, we're like really good in silversmith. I was reading a book that like we developed that skill very quickly, in the sense that like we just got introduced to like a couple hundred years ago, and like we're already masters at it, and we're one of the leaders. And our designs, and a lot of people, like, I know it's big in like the rodeo community, like a lot of people like our shash belts and like our hats.
Yeah.
And we do have influence over people, and we should be responsible with that. And like we said, like, we shouldn't be mascots.
Yeah, there's better ways of portraying us, and I think, just investing locally, and upgrading our services that we have to grow.
Yeah. I talked to you about this. Like, if I were president, my first thing would be investing in schools, because our schools are terrible. And it's like, we need to invest in the future to make sure like our foundation is laid so that the next generation will be better than us. And then once that happens, they can have the the steps to take that a step further, and maybe from schools they're able to help that into the healthcare field, and from the healthcare field they're able to help more elders, and it's just we need to start somewhere. But I feel like we're just too spread out. We're doing too many things and not focus on one specific thing to make that better.
Yeah, just the foundational stuff to build off of.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think schools are a huge problem on the reservation, and I feel like that should be the top priority of any president. And I feel like that just gets missed.
Yeah, and I think we're fortunate that we grew up in a border town.
Yeah.
They had some good money and all that stuff, but I've seen like places like Loop,
Yeah.
and all those other like Pinion and all those other places, those schools.
Ganado.
There's a lot of stuff with like underfunding and all that they go through, and it's just really sad. But if they were to invest in that, I think that would really help out future generations.
All right, cool. So that would wrap up this video. Thank you for listening.